Welcome back to our channel, friends. This is Sonia here from Growing Craft. Thank you so much for dropping in. Now, before we start this video, please do make sure that you subscribe to our channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon so that you do not miss out any of our updates. Also, do check our website www.growingcraft.com and let's get started. So here is my base on which I'm going to work. Now you can do this on any of the surfaces. The technique is going to be same. Of course, you will have to make sure that how much gesso you are applying, that is going to change. Now for this one, I'm just going to apply one coat of gesso because my base is really smooth and I did not have to do too much of work on this base. Now for applying my gesso, here I'm using my flat paintbrush. If you want, you can use the sponge dauber, but like I said, my base was really smooth, so I did not have to worry a lot. Also, as it's a mosaic decoupage, I just felt that even having the natural texture is going to be a really good thing. Now you will see me very conscious while doing this tutorial. Why? Because I will keep on cleaning my table, actually my mat. Why? Because I have realized that my craft mats are going like so bad with the colors, and every time buying new is not possible for me, and they are quite costly, but they are so good that I cannot live without them. So that's the reason I'll keep on cleaning my table. So please be ready to see that how I keep on cleaning my table, and please be bear with my cleaning thing. Okay, so now here using my heat gun, I have dried my box. Now once this is done, and it's time to move on to the next step. Now for mosaic thing, for one of the portions, I'm going to use one of the beautiful paper. How I'm going to use it, that you will see later on in this video. Now for this remaining 3 parts, I'm going to use my stencil. Now how I came up with the stencil idea. So honestly, when I was looking out for the mosaic papers, honestly I could not get the paper of the same design in a pack. So I had to go for all the different papers on all the sides, or I will have to get the papers of same design for different pieces. So I just felt, why not to try out my own mosaic work with the mosaic decoupage papers. So here what I'm doing is, here I'm applying my acrylic paint. So this is a royal blue acrylic paint. I'll share all the supplies link down in the description box, you can check that. And with the fan brush, I'm just spreading this roughly on all the 3 sides. On one side, I'm just going to leave it as it is because we are going to do decoupage work on that. Now here I'm using my acrylic paint because I wanted my mosaics to have a little shine. As if you have not checked my video on the difference between acrylic and metallic paint, and also in the chalk paints, do check that. I'll mention that link also in the description box, or else you can just scroll down to my channel. I'm sure you will find a tons of such kind of videos which is going to really help you out. Now the next thing I had to do was my stencil work. So initially I thought I'm going to use my sponge dauber, then I thought using my stencil brushes are going to really help, and this is something which I absolutely love. So here I have taken up a chalk color. Why? Because I am going to go matte with my designs on the top of my acrylic paints. So it's going to give a very nice shiny and a matte look. So this is going to look really good. Now as I'm going to do one side, I'm going to use my heat gun so that it dries out. Then I'm going to move on to the next step. Also, please bear with my coffee because this was an afternoon and Bangalore is already so chilled. So I just thought having a cup of coffee is going to be a little more happy for me. Now, if you don't have the stencil brush, I would highly recommend you to get that, because it really helps in a very nice and a very rustic and a very nice color blending, and it really helps. So later on you will see me blending the colors on the top of these stencil work, and you will see that why I am insisting on buying stencil brushes. Yes, these are really good. So like I said, once I am done with one side, I am going to just use my heat gun to dry that out, and then I will move on to the next step. And you have to make sure that you dry up your base really well after each layering of your work. That is really important. Otherwise, as it's a square base, like you are going to work on all the 4 sides, it might just get ruined off, and we do not want that. So yes, again here I am using my heat gun to dry this up, and then we will move on to the next step. Now for the next step, we have to use our varnish. Now if you are a first timer on my YouTube channel, you might not know that I'm so addicted to varnish. If you have not known that, do scroll back to my other videos. You will see and you will know that why I insist on using my varnishes a lot on any kind of basis. Why? Because it really helps in adding a strength to it, and there are so many other benefits that you can check on my previous videos. Now here, of course, like I said, I am working on a square base, so I had to use my heat gun a lot. I had to dry each areas a lot. This was just to make sure that when I work on the other sides, the color, the varnish, the paints should not start smudging or leaking. So that's the reason using your heat gun is really important. If you don't have a heat gun, I would say buy it, but if you can't buy it, you will have to let it dry naturally. And how much time does it take to dry naturally? It takes at least 40 to 50 minutes for this varnish to dry out completely so that you can move on to the next step. Now here, this is the mosaic paper which I had, and I absolutely loved the design. So I have been holding this for a quite long time, and I really did not know what to do with this and how to use it and where to use it. So yes, so today when I thought of doing this planter, I just felt that this is just the perfect design for my planter. Now here I am doing my fussy cutting work, and of course I am going to make sure that I cut it as nicely as I can, because here I am not using any scale or paper trimmer. Later on you will see me using a paper trimmer, but then that was a blunder because these papers are so thin. So honestly, when I got these papers, I was told that these are very thin. I was like, okay, every brand says that these are very thin, but when I actually used my this particular paper on my paper trimmer, I could realize that yes, these are extremely thin. That's the reason I was not able to cut that. So I guess this is what we like when we are doing decoupage, that either you are using your tissues, or if the paper you are using, they should be extremely thin. Now you will see me struggling cutting here, and end of the day I had to do my scissor cutting work, and a big thumbs up to this decoupage paper, of course. Okay, so here we are done with our mosaic cutting work. Now I'm going to use my Mod Podge. This is a matte finish Mod Podge which I'm using, and I'm extremely addicted to this one too. Now once I'm sticking my paper, as I have used my Mod Podge, it's super easy for me to just stick it, and whenever you have sticked it, you just need to make sure that you press this well so that there are no bubbles and there are no wrinkles. And a quick tip, whenever you are done with your sticking work, let it dry for 40-50%. If you're using a heat gun, just run it for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then very quickly you can just start pressing it with your fingers. This will help in removing all the excessive bubbles and the air gaps from the mat. Okay, now on the sides there were some extra papers at the bottom, so I just thought I'm going to stick it because I know these are so delicate, these are so thin. So I did not want to take any risk, but yes, like I said, these are one of the best papers what I have used till now. So once I'm done with my sticking work, it's time to again use my varnish, and by now you know that I'm so addicted to varnish. Now I am using a fan brush. Now there are 2-3 different things which I use for application of my paints and my varnishes. Those are like flat brushes and the fan brushes, and I absolutely love them because they give a very good coverage. So I have been using Anukul paint brushes for quite long time, and I love that, and the quality is good, and that's the reason I really promote that. Now just using my sponge dauber to press this, and this looks good. This is actually looking very nice. So it's time to play around with my colors. Now honestly, my stencil work and the paper what I have used, the colors are totally different. They do not match at all, but the challenge was to make it look like a one theme pot. Of course I could not have the 4 different papers for one project, so I just felt like doing a lot of color blending, and I just felt that that was the right decision what I had made. Why? Because like playing around with the colors is something which I absolutely love, and whenever I do my decoupage and mixed media projects, I use my acrylic paints, I use my chalk paints, and I use all kind of mediums to make sure that I come up with something really good and something beautiful which I am going to like. So right now here I am using a grey color chalk paint. So with a very thin brush, I'm trying to create a border, and this really matches with the base color. So the decoupage paper what I had did not have the plain white color, and that's the reason I'm using a gray color so that it matches really well to my base. If you don't have a round brush, you can use a flat brush, but you will have to use a smaller size flat brush. But I just felt that a bit of uneven lines, a little thicker and a little thinner, those gives a very natural look and feel to your project, and I love that. So having a rustic theme, having something natural, not perfect lines, is something which I really like about doing my mixed media and decoupage art. I know if you are really a focused person and if you really want to have everything symmetrical, then I think you should go for a nice flat brush, but I think a round brush works perfectly. And like I said at the starting of the video also, that you will see me doing a lot of heat gun usage on this particular pot. So yeah, that is something which you will have to bear of, because as this project has a lot of layers of coloring and the color blending technique, so we will need this. Otherwise after each layer I will have to wait for a lot of time, then I will have to do it, and as it's really cold in Bangalore, it's going to take a whole lot of time to dry out. So I just felt that a heat gun is such a big savior at this point of time. Now you might be having this query, do we have to use the gray color always? No, it's not compulsion. You need to choose the colors according to the mosaic papers what you are choosing, or the color combinations you want. If you are going for an orange and green, then you will have to pick up those kind of colors, not the gray colors. So of course, and like I said, I wanted to have something vintage, something rustic, so I just felt that this color is going to highlight my later on coloring techniques a lot. Now repeating the same border on my grayish parts wherever I see that I need to have a little more border. So as you can see that my mosaic parts were not exactly even on this surface. So I just felt that doing a little more of color blending on the edges is going to help it to look a little more natural. So honestly my pot size is 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, a little smaller than that. So that's the reason my paper did not fit here really well. So yes, here I am almost done with my grey color, and this looks great, and honestly the borders are looking really visible and really it like a one color tone on my boxes. Now as I have used the blue acrylic color, I just felt that adding this color to my mosaic papers is going to blend the colors really well and make it look like a one family mosaic piece. So here I have taken my acrylic color and adding water to it, and just a very random coloring on the edges. This is just to create a nice border to the mosaic designs. Honestly, if you cut these pieces individually, like here I have taken the 9 pieces of mosaic tiles, I have used this as a one piece mosaic work on my pot. If you want, you can cut them individually, do a lot of color blending technique and the mixed media art, and then have it. But I wanted to play a little easy, so that's the reason I just stick the complete paper. Now on the top of it I'm doing my color blending technique. Now I did not want it to have a very dark surface, that's the reason I'm adding water. But again, if you're choosing the colors which blends well with the color combination what you have, you really don't have to add water to it. Now giving a nice border to my mosaic paper, and you can see that wherever I feel that it's light, I'm going to do my second coat, and it's absolutely fine. Many times I have been asked, why do we need to do the 2 coats of color? Can we not have just the dark color at one go? No. Again, this is my personal experience, that if you have number of layers of colors, that give it such a nice and natural look, which is something I like. Now it's time to do some more color blending, and this is the reason why I love stencil brushes, because they really help you in color blending technique a lot, like I had mentioned earlier in this video. So here I am using a pale green color. I just thought that a tinge of green color will do, but I had to do a little more, so I'm going to repeat this process on my mosaic tiles. Now you will say, why did I do the blue color and then I'm doing the green color on the top of it? Now when you actually see the pictures at the end, you will realize that I am not doing a green color very prominently. I am just highlighting on the very lighter note. So what you can actually see is the green color also and the blue color also, and prominently the blue color, and green color is just to highlight and add a little more tone here. Now with the same stencil brushes, I'm just going to have the excessive colors around the edges. This is just to blend in the colors, and it's absolutely fine. If you do not have too much of colors, you can just use a tinge of color on the edges. Now I will also try to do this in some different color combination. Just let me know in the comment section if you want me to come up with another mosaic tutorial, so that I can show you other color combinations also, and I would love to share that with you all. Now my color blending work is almost done. Again, I am using my heat gun to dry this up, and this is actually looking very better than on camera. So in person this was looking way better than my camera. I know I have to change my setup, and hopefully I will be able to do that soon. Now just to create a nice border, here I am using my black acrylic color. If you want, you can use your chalk paints also. If you want, you can even use gesso for this particular technique. That's going to give a very matte finish, and that's going to look really great. Now for these kind of blendings, I usually prefer to just have my paints and my fingers, and I just let them go and run away on the edges of my borders and my artwork freely, so that it gives a very nice natural look, and that is something which I am so much in love with. Now here, once I am done with the black color, then I am going to add other shades here also, and the other shades are going to have the brown color, and if you want, you can have nice bright colors. They are going to make sure that it mixes up really well. So there is one more technique. What you can do is, if you do not want to play around with your fingers, you can use a dry brushing technique. If you have not known about, or you're not aware of the dry brushing technique, you can check my previous tutorials where I have done a dry brushing technique, and that works really well. So in that case, you need to just have a nice flat brush. It should be completely dry, and with that you need to try the color blending, but of course there is a process on how you do it. Now I will be also doing some of the blending work on my decoupage papers, on my stencil art, on my chalk paints art, and wherever I feel that I need to add a tinge of brown and black, I will do that. So yes, this was a very exciting project to make, and just in case if you want me to come up with something really exciting, and if you have any suggestions, please do let me know in the comment section. Now once I am done with my brown color, I will again do a little bit of black color just to color up my edges, and once this is done, then it needs to have a varnish so that it lasts long. And you need to make sure that when you are doing this color blending technique, try to use the acrylic colors. They are going to give a little glossy effect to your containers. Now once this is dried out completely, it's time to varnish this, and honestly I am going to give one coat of varnish on screen, and off screen I gave 3 coats of varnish to it. Why? Because it's a planter. Secondly, I'm going to have a pot inside. Of course I'm going to keep a plastic pot inside, but still we do not want our colors, our decoupage papers, our stencil work and the color blending technique to come out. So having a good coat of varnish is really important. Now here, like I said, I'm working on a square surface, so I do my varnish work on one surface, then I dry it out, then I do it on the second surface, then again I dry it out. So I'm going to repeat the process for all the 4 sides in the same way. I'm not coloring the inner side of my pot or the bottom side of my pot, because those are not going to be visible, as I'm going to have my planter and I'm going to keep it in my living room. So it's absolutely fine. So with this, my tutorial is done. I really hope that you all enjoyed this session. Just let me know in the comment section if you want me to come up with something extra special for you guys. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.